Da, 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 da.
Hanging out down the street. The same old thing. We did last week. Not a DTD. But talk to you. We're all right. We're all right. Hello, Wisconsin.
You know, Survivor Series is tonight.
Yeah.
Didn't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look ski at the card. Of course, we have the 25-man battle royal, the Andre Memorial.
That's on Survivor Series now?
Shit, maybe that's not it then. Maybe they
Because
just doing
I thought that was always on WrestleMania. I could be wrong. I don't.
You might be right too. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not going to, pinpoint it. The women's Survivor Series match, Team SmackDown, Sasha Banks and Shayna Baszler and Shotzi Blackheart and Natalia and Tony Storm. Hey, wait, wasn't Aaliyah supposed to be there?
Yeah, they switched her with Tony Storm.
Why?
So it's WWE. They weren't going to let Aaliyah do anything. After she had to read her script, looking up and down, I wouldn't blame her.
Oh, they're going to release her soon. Oh no.
Oh yeah, you know.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's budget cut, baby. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Versus Team Raw, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, and Yo Girl, Liv Morgan,
Hey.
and Carmella, and God damn, why was I getting ready to say Alexa Vega? I'm wilding.
I don't know. Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega. Damn, I don't remember. I was about to just say fuck it and say Trinidad, but
yeah, bro.
this is getting hard to remember. Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura versus U.S. Champion Damian Priest. That actually sounds like a good match.
Yeah, that's something I want to watch.
Your men's Survivor Series match, Team SmackDown, Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Xavier Woods, broke ass Corbin, and Sheamus versus Team Raw, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory. Ew. Why? Whatever. Then you have the Usos versus RK Bro, tag team champions match.
Mm-hmm.
You have Roman Reigns versus Big E. Why? We all know how this ends. That's the one thing that bothers me. We're putting this motherfucker up against like the biggest names that you can find this motherfucker, and you're just running through. Like, I just hope Big E wins. He probably won't though.
Yeah, that's all you can do at this point.
Yeah, I created a
It may fall
monster.
upon deaf ear.
And then Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch, which that's probably going to be the best match of the night.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Do I want to tune into it this year?
I will, just because we're wrestling purists and we watch
quite a bit. That's where it's at for me. It's force of habit.
I'm just like, you know what? Like, we didn't even say unenthused. Like, we didn't even pick who we think was gonna win the matches. Like, that's just, we got to give y'all something wrestling other than what we got to give y'all. Hey, that's how I feel about it. It makes me yawn talking about it.
Well, the thing is that
What? The thing is what? Oh, he must be freezing.
versus champions, and it's like, all right, that's cool and all, but yeah, pretty much like built certain champions to be juggernauts, and y'all built certain champions to be, give the crowd what they want, pretty much. So, what do you expect to happen when you have the juggernauts go against them? And then you have situations where it's like, again, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Damian Priest. That's going to be a good match. Charlotte versus Becky. That's going to be a good match. You know? So it's like, those are the matches that I'm looking forward to. But the Survivor Series matches, they're starting to get a little like, not bland, but thrown together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I remember the days where motherfuckers would legitimately squat up for Survivor Series, and you legitimately didn't know who was going to win between those two teams. But now it's like, all right, you're throwing together essentially the best motherfuckers that you got on the roster, and it's not even a toss-up anymore because 9 times out of 10, Raw's going to win.
Right.
So it is what it is. He's with the B. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm like growing out of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what it is for real. I'm finally growing out of the template wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like the template aspect of things. It's like it was fine at not really at first, but not really in the mid 2010s either. This shit was never dope. It wasn't until like, Triple H started bringing in the indie sweethearts where I was like, all right, I can get into this again, because they started moving the indie sweethearts up on the main roster, and some of them were actually, doing numbers and shit, and it made me go, all right, cool, shit's fine again. But now it's like they've hollowed out the rosters. They've hollowed out the rosters. So we're not getting much variety anymore.
Mm-hmm.
People essentially in the same positions that they're always in.
Yep, and I think it's people are starting to finally get tired of the old WWE process, which I've been tired for about 8 years now. So y'all are late to the party. So
listen, my man's AJ, who I gotta bring on the show at some point. He had been telling me for years that WWE is fucking overrated, and that there are other like wrestling promotions out there. Then I'd be like, well, give me an example. He'd be like, TNA. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. But apparently he was right. You know what I'm saying? Like the more I look back at it, like I'll listen to Deadlock and they'll review TNA episodes. It's like, dog, maybe I did miss out on TNA a little bit.
yeah.
So then not only that, it's like, again, we're essentially used to the same shit on WWE.
Yeah.
At a point where like they've essentially trained us to predict it.
Mm-hmm. And think it's
Because
good.
it happens so fucking often in such a short amount of time. You're like, all right, y'all aren't really going to switch things up anytime soon. So it's like, I know what's going to happen here because it's going to set up for this. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
it just starts to get bland. It starts to get boring. It starts to get to a point where you're just like going through the motions to watch it because your favorite superstar may be on that show.
Yeah, sad reality, but I think it's just really unfortunate that it's come to this place in WWE. It's like we've grown so like for a lot of us, WWE was our first like introduction to wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So to see the thing that brought you to something you love just be so bad and behave so, you know, mediocrely, it's just like don't even make you want to stick around. You know what I'm saying?
and again, with wrestling promotions like AEW, Impact, you're starting to get an emergence of alternatives to WWE, and we're going to get to a point where it's like these promotions are going to become as big as names as the WWE, and the WWE is going to be too egotistical to realize that, well, A, they're a stepping stone, they're slowly turn themselves into a stepping stone promotion.
Correct.
And by stepping stone promotion, I mean a promotion to get you to where you want to be, as opposed to the WWE being the end all be all, the NFL, the NBA of
Correct.
pro. It's starting to become the D League of pro
Correct.
wrestling, slowly but surely, because it's like you're only going there just to build a following outside of independent wrestling.
Right.
When we got a crowd big enough, and at some point WWE is going to release you. That's the irony of it all. That's how I was looking. Like eventually WWE is going to release you, and then you can go to other promotions well known.
Right. Speaking of that, did you see the post that Ric Flair put with him holding up CM Punk's arm? An old picture of WWE and him and Punk in the ring. I'm like, is that a foreshadowing, Rick? Are you trying to tell us something? I don't know.
That Dark Side of the Ring episode about about to make things very complicated for the rest of Ric Flair's life, because
Mm-hmm.
my place is going to be booing the shit out of him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So I couldn't tell you for that. But nonetheless, uh, yeah. But not only are they becoming a stepping stone of a company, they're gonna wind up becoming. They're gonna wind up essentially playing themselves, as they are starting to do so right now, because they're releasing a bunch of talent that are moving on to other companies and proving that they were wasting away in WWE because they're being used in favor of the favorites, and not usually just the crowd favorites, but management favorites. Like there's no balance of boosting or raise pushing these superstars. It's a rare occasion where superstars that are at the bottom of the card are being pushed. That's why we constantly complain about your Liv Morgans and your Dana Brooks and your uh, I can't even think of any male superstar at this point because they're mostly released.
Sami
So
Zayn.
your Sami Zayn's, your Kevin Owens even.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's a bit of a problem. And then not only that, but these people that are at the bottom of the card are popular and dope enough to be at the top of the card, and you're saving the top of the card for motherfuckers like Roman Reigns.
Mm-mm.
So it's like, all right, man, y'all got it, man. Like, y'all think he's so cool, so be it. I just want to let y'all know y'all are fucking cornballs for thinking so. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. But nonetheless,
Nah, I'm not gonna be that guy that keeps saying "I told you so." So, like, I don't want to be that guy. But do with that what you will.
you said what?
So I don't want to be that guy that says "I told you so" every time we talk about this. But
Well,
do
then
that
stop
with.
being the guy that tells me I told you so when we talk about this.
I mean,
It's very easy to not say that.
I
Very
mean,
easy.
is it though? Because we're talking
Yes.
about the same thing every week.
You just silently say it in your mind. Just stare at me. That's the look of I told you so already.
Either way, I'm still communicating that I told you so. So
I mean, at least I don't have to hear the shit. That'll make me feel better.
would it?
Yes. Very much so.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I can just stop looking at you.
Because eventually it's just gonna turn to Kenny. Don't look at me like that.
Well, yeah, probably. But yeah, you're right. You're actually right.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, it's very easy to just not say I told you so. That's all I'm saying.
Well, when you keep proving me right, it keeps me living to say I told you so.
I suppose you got a fair point on that one. However, I do have hope for the Women's Survivor Series match, even though I'm a bit upset that Aaliyah got kicked off the team for God knows what reason, and replaced with Toni Storm. At least that's a good replacement. If you really want to replace anybody, you replace Natalia. But it is what it is, and it be what it be.
No, you can't do that.
Why can't you?
She's Natalia. She's Hart family royalty, and she's got boobs.
That's not the reason why you can't do that. The reason why you can't do that is because Natalia is the ring general in this match.
Not to Vince. That's not what it's worth.
You can't replace, the likes of Sasha Banks, of course, because again, that's yet another ring general you have in that match. You can't replace Shayna Baszler. She's the bully of that team. You can't replace Shotzi Blackheart. She's the enigma of that team. The only person you could replace was Aaliyah. Yes, it makes sense. Did they replace Aaliyah with somebody as good as Toni Storm? Yes. I just really would have liked to see Aaliyah get that, that shot on a big stage, such as Survivor Series. And it's not like it's fucking WrestleMania. And if they're building something for her for WrestleMania, then I'll shut the fuck up. But for what I'm saying right now, it's like, yo, she could have been on this Survivor Series scene, dog. Why not? And it's like, if anybody's going to be out first, it could have been her. Now you're going to have Toni Storm probably be out first, and it's like, ew, why? Then again, you might just have Zelina Vega be out first in general, and just have Toni Storm out first for Team SmackDown. Either way,
Zelina Vega better not be out first if she's the queen.
Yeah, all right. So, like, yeah, with Team SmackDown, you couldn't really do much about that. Team Raw, that is the rest of the women's division. So,
yep.
Where the fuck Asuka is, I have no idea.
She's at home.
Yeah,
she's at home about to get them budget cuts. Best of luck to your future endeavors.
Ah, shit. That sucks. I'd be furious because they workhorse Asuka.
Well, Carlos, prepare for yourself to open up for the I told you so again.
At that point, I'm just going to demand you stop telling me so because you just starting to wish things into existence and shit.
I keep telling you, I'm the Jedi. You think I'm playing? It is not a game. This is a legitimate claim I had.
Yeah, well, you play too goddamn much. So stop making these fucking predictions. I'll make the predictions from here on out. That way, if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And it's like, all right, cool. We have a balance here. You being right all the time. I don't
But
like
I also predicted y'all winning the World Series before you saw it.
At what point?
When y'all first got into the playoffs, I was like, y'all about to go to the World Series. So we have to beat these guys so like y'all going to the World Series. And y'all gonna win it. And then that's when you predicted y'all winning in 6.
Base roll in 6. That is true.
So maybe I am rubbing off of your predictions. Maybe you can turn something around. We'll see. My best.
Wrestling? No. No more. No more for wrestling.
All right.
You can't do it anymore.
Let's get into this work.